Hello, I'm Taiga, and this is Seed Sunday, the weekly series I run on my channel where I show you the best seeds that do exist for Minecraft on the console. And today I have one which is rather fascinating if you like just, weird stuff appearing in biomes. It really shouldn't, because today I have a floating ocean village. That's right, one of the oceans at the edge of the map does contain a village right at the edge, and it's not even like right next to the land, so you can't even really argue it's a village from there. And basically it's just something I really want to show off because it's very nutty, very bizarre, and also it's on a seed which contains lots of other bizarre stuff, like a random, witch hut on a mountain, there's a hole which can lead you straight down to a mine shaft which has a stronghold built into it. That's right, all of this stuff is really easily accessible from the surface, and I wanted to show it all off in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy. So like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like the Seed Sunday. But with that said, let's get straight into talking about whatever's going on with this seed, because you might be like, oh yeah, this seed looks great so far, so yeah, even just this plains village, thing already is going pretty great. So if you want the seed, and you can come back to this later, it's going to be on screen right now. It's a long list of numbers. I've said before why we've been doing number seeds, and the big reason is just because we generally get better stuff, and today's seed is no exception to that. So yeah, if you type in all those numbers, you'll spawn just over here. This spawn is pretty great because it has this just pretty, again, it's like half plains, half savanna, so it's mostly just a flat land which splits between two biomes in front of you, and both biomes of course contain all of the animals, as well as horses, and just all the good stuff that you probably want from a spawn, as well as some acacia trees, which might be nice for building a house. And also, the other thing that's, the spawn gives you, which is a lot better of course, is this Npc Village. So the Npc Village obviously does not contain a blacksmith chest, kind of a bummer, but it does contain some pumpkins, which I think is, again, pumpkins, sometimes can be tricky to find. And in fact, a fun little fact you might not know is pumpkins are a lot rarer than diamonds, because obviously they only spawn like 5 patches per world, as opposed to, there's a lot of diamonds per world when you really dig for them, but pumpkins are a lot rarer, so that means you get something rarer than diamonds with your first village. So, yeah, as well as the fact that there is, this first village with the pretty rare thing, and the village, and all the food which you might want to get, this is just kind of like a starting point for you to head to the rest of the seed. Although, actually, one thing I should mention, if you want to, get your tools crafted and whatnot first, this is a cave I'd recommend, because, first of all, you can punch the ceiling down, and loads of sand is going to come falling down, and second of all, it's the fact that there's lots of iron found within, which might be your sort of thing. So yeah, you can explore this cave, get yourself some iron, some gold, and just, good stuff to start the seed with. And like I said, it's fun to punch down sand when it's floating above nothing, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that is the start of the seed. But if you head to the north of the spawn instead, you find lots of amazing things in a row. So the first amazing thing, and perhaps one of the most amazing, holes in the ground, in my opinion, that I've ever seen, is found in this roof forest. So this roof forest is connected to, the swamp, and there's it's a little bit of a weird place, but there's just at these corners right here, pretty much the center of the map, you'll find this hole in the ground that has a big thing of lava and a big thing of water. So obviously you want to jump into the water. Pro tip with Toycat right there, and not installed if you can avoid it. And if you follow the water downwards, it's like a stream that guides you. Not only will you find a bunch of ores, like iron ore and stuff, but you'll also find this giant ravine. So this ravine is interesting, not only because it's a ravine, but also because it contains this right here, abandoned mineshaft. That's right, you can hop straight into an abandoned mineshaft from the surface, no block breaking required, which is something I've shown off a couple of times, but this one is particularly great because, again, we got some chests immediately when we get here, and also, something you might have noticed back there, and you can see just over here, is the surface of the abandoned mineshaft is actually the top of a stronghold. So that's right, not only can you get into a abandoned mineshaft from the surface without breaking a single block, you can also get into the stronghold without breaking a single block, and it's amazing to me that these two things combine. That's something we've seen before, but they combine in two separate ravines at once. This is a different ravine just to the right of the other one. Again, it's very, very weird stuff how there's two ravines connecting the same two things, but that is in fact the case. But as well as having two ravines connecting an abandoned mineshaft and a stronghold, you can explore this entire thing without breaking anything, and because this thing is so low down, you'll notice how a lot of it is in fact at diamond layer. This is right at Y18 and such. So if you explore these caves, these ravines, etc., you might just find yourself some diamonds, and you'll almost certainly find yourself some lapis. So yeah, that's a thing you can explore in this place that I think is just amazing, and yeah, it's the stronghold. I recommend checking it out. It's one of the most interesting strongholds I've seen in some time, and although some of the chests I found some with redstone and stuff like that, it's still just a great, place to find regardless. So yeah, this is, of course, the mine. Okay, there we go, there's some lapis. There'll be some diamonds somewhere in this cave, presumably, and you can explore and try and find those, as well as gold, and all the other things you want from a place. So yeah, just an amazing find, in my opinion. Just the fact that exists is a little nutty, and hopefully, that's something you like. But if it's not something you like in a seed, and you're just like, oh yeah, I get that it's nice there's a thing over there, but is there something a bit better? Well, maybe if we dig back over to here. So we're below the mineshaft right now. Let's just dig the surface, and let's show you the next really amazing thing, the thing I mentioned in the start of the video, and that honestly is probably somewhere in the title, and maybe even the thumbnail, because if we head to the far north of the seed, you'll find not only this extreme hill biome, and this extreme hill biome, let me just take a few seconds to say, isn't this floating island amazing? I've said before, I love floating islands, and this one is just a weirdly shaped floating island, not even connected to the rest of it, just, kind of weirdly shaped like this, that also has this just giant oak tree on it. So yeah, just an interesting little find. It looks like it's 3 oak trees on the top, but it's one giant, ridiculously sized oak tree. But yeah, let's head to the very, very far north, because like I mentioned, there is a floating village on this seed, and this floating village is a little bit out there, because all it exists as, again, there's the closest spruce biome, which I guess it must be connected to in some way, but it's so far off the edge that it doesn't make any sense for it to be there, because this is the generation point, which makes me realize with almost 100% certainty, the edges of the map in Minecraft are slightly glitched. This is meant to be a taiga biome, but obviously, it's set itself to try and be like that. So instead of like fully going as a taiga biome, instead we get this weird thing where we've got this, village which generates in an ocean. That's right, this is a full-on like ocean thing, and it generates in the ocean with this long pathway stretching between the 2 village houses. So yeah, you can come here to get some bookshelves, you can come here to get some crafting, and you can come here to see what is, in my opinion, one of the weirdest things ever, because it is a floating, it is a ocean village in Minecraft, which is a little nutty if you ask me. So yeah, that's this thing right here. Let's just show you a little bit more, because I don't know, this, whenever I see this sort of stuff, I'm a little bit like, wow, that is not something you're normally meant to see in Minecraft, and maybe all of you do agree with that. So yeah, this is a tiny little village. The cobblestone, because obviously these are really high up, goes down pretty deep, so if you want lots of cobblestone, who wants lots of cobblestone at this point in the game? I don't know, but maybe that's you, and maybe that's something you can get. Also, obviously, the well, you can use as like a way to dig down into the water, below the surface, if you really want to, so you dig down here, and now you've got a little cave going. Maybe that's useful to you, you can tell me. But with that said, yeah, that's one of the most amazing things I've seen on any seed, but we do have to move on to the second taiga village on this seed, and this taiga village is actually attached to the land itself, so it makes a nice change from the crazy stuff going on there, and it's found all the way across here on the other side of the top of the map. So yeah, this is like I said, it's a regular taiga village. There's nothing too exciting about this one because it's on land. We've seen the one floating above the water. Does this really matter anymore? And the answer is I mean a little bit it does. It's got some beetroot in it, just 2 sets of beetroot for me. Sometimes that can change though, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it's just a nice little village to be found. It's got some weird glitchy stuff going on, and maybe this is the village for you. Maybe you haven't seen a taiga village yet, and if so, this is a great place to head for all of that sort of stuff. Also found in this section of the map near the taiga biome, so there's like a lot of mountains around here, but one of my favorite like collections of them is these 2 mountains together, because these 2 mountains kind of form this almost enclave, and if you just build a tiny wall over there, you build a tiny wall over there, you make the taiga biome great again, then what you can actually do is you can, all you have to, once you've done that, you've got like this amazing secluded place where no one can really see in or out. But a part of me always likes when you're, kind of locked in your own little area, and that's something you can entirely achieve with this place right here. Or you could have a bigger wall going across from there to there, or from there to there, for instance. I know there's lots of stuff you could do with the terrain here, because it is randomly mountainous. There are just some random mountains, and those random mountains, I reckon, could be used to your advantage. Also, it's got the most adorable ravine in the world. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but it's this little... look how thin it is. It's like, 3 blocks wide, 2 blocks. It's a thin ravine. It's very, very small. It's very, very adorable, and it's something you might like from this place. So yeah, just a little thing in the taiga biome before we head to the last main point of today's seed, which is the fact that it has this extreme hill biome right here. I mean, it's called an extreme hill biome, but it's not very extreme, is it? It's quite the opposite of an extreme hill biome, and this, biome also contains a witch's hut. So, yeah, this witch's hut is found just over here, and as you can see, it's going to contain your witch, which you might like, but it's also just an interesting structure because it generates right into the extreme hill. Like, I guess this is swamp. I mean, it's not really easy to tell, but, this is a swamp over here for some reason, and apparently the swamp is good enough for it to generate one of these, and that means you get this weird second biome mashup of like, oh, yeah, I guess witch hut and extreme hill and a taiga village floating above nothing. That's just how this seed works, and there's something kind of nice and interesting about that you can find right here. Also, obviously the roof forest extends a little bit into it as well, and this extreme hill basically just covers a lot of land it maybe shouldn't, and that's something that I found to be interesting, and maybe you do too. But yeah, that is kind of the last thing I wanted to show off on today's Seed Sunday. There's a lot of like tiny interesting stuff you can find around, like, oh look, it's a really, really messy plains, but in terms of like the amazing stuff you can only find find here. I think those are the biggest ones, and I hope you did all enjoy the Seed Sunday, where I spoke about and showed you each of them. A reminder, you can like the video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like these sorts of videos. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching. A reminder, if you want to let me know in the comments down below, either any seeds you found, or, you know, just, you want to, want me to look for a particular thing in a seed, then obviously you can do that, and I will read those like I try to read the comments in general. And I hope you do enjoy this video in general, because I'll have to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.